we also have Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress Party. Dr. Singhvi, my first question, again, how do you look at the Supreme Court pausing sedition proceedings in the country?
Well, Sanket, I think it's an extremely creditable, supportable, very desirable judgment. I would fully support it. It's, of course, an interim order. But there are 2 or 3 facets I want to very quickly summarize for you and your viewers.
Sure.
One, the government has always opposed this in the hearings. It has never said, look, we are prepared to stop it. We are prepared to stop taking action. We are prepared to suspend it. Number 2, it has taken 3 adjournments, each time when the court had fixed categorical dates for hearing. Number 3, it perhaps tried, and I think the court turned it on its head, the 4th time to say, look, this is an adjournment by another name. We will look into it, leave it to us. The legislature, we will bring into it. We all understand the meaning of such woolly, broad sentences. When the legislature, what the legislature, how many at your sweet will, 1 year, 2 years. I think that is too vague. And along with that, they opposed court intervention strongly. So given all this, I think the court did an excellent thing. And remember one thing, the court has to act. No government of any political color, including past BJP governments or non-Congress governments, have had 753 uses or arrests or wrong arrests on a conviction rate of 12 in these years. The figures are published by all of you. Now, the point is not that sedition law is there or is on the book. The point is how you have misused it. From the Mewanis of Gujarat to the travel to Assam, to the comedians, the stand-up comedians, the satirists. You as a journalist, I can assure you, you may not say it on television, would have to look twice over your shoulder because of this fear. And there is another aspect to it, let me tell you. Today, in 95% cases, the prosecution which files the case against Abhishek Singhvi or Sanket Upadhyay knows that they will get bail within 2 months, 3 months, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. It's the harassment in those 4 to 6 weeks which you can't prevent because your remedy is ex post facto. There is nothing preventive, it is curative, and that curative is good enough to harass you endlessly. So I would like the court, and this is something the court has not done, it should do it in final hearing, is to say that, look, when you find there has to be some penal element which will deter police officers from filing frivolous, vexatious, superficial cases. Because today is no use saying, I will file it, देखी जाएगी बाद में वो निकल जाएगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, 2-3 महीने तो सड़ेगा वो, उसको नुकसान तो होगा. तो इसलिए this needs to be clarified by some penal that, look, if you start registering such cases on very low thresholds, when you can do 20 other provisions and you do the sedition straight away, then you will be penalized as an officer of the police, which will deter. Deterrence is there as a preventive measure. Very important, not merely as a curative intervention.
Okay, sure. But Dr. Singhvi, you know, this has instantly become political also, where the law minister is now saying that the Congress should be the last party to speak on sedition as it has misused it the most. And also says that the Lakshman Rekha between the government and the judiciary must be respected.
I think the law minister is wrong on both counts. He's so grievously wrong that he doesn't even realize it. Sometimes you're so wrong that you don't realize that you are totally wrong. First of all, the Lakshman Rekha is crossed by a government filing 753 arrests, or the Lakshman Rekha is crossed by a court which gives you 3 opportunities and then stays it. You decide for yourself. Is this Lakshman Rekha or is it a self-serving boundary drawn to protect yourself by you, the government? Lakshman's was the honest Rekha. It was a spiritual Rekha. This is none of that. Number 2, the Congress, please consider the Congress in 60 odd years of rule. Please consider 15 years of non-Congress rule or 20 years. Tell me a single government of any color which in 5 to 7 years has misused it the way it has. Today, any satirist, there's a person in Rajasthan, Radhesham. There are so many instances we all know. You can't, you know, when I was a student in England, we used to have Not the 9 o'clock news. It's called Not the 9 o'clock news on BBC. The lampooning and the satire they did on politicians, sitting politicians, amazed me. Now, I'm not saying that you have the British standard of humor, which is very robust. I am saying that even the thought, anything remotely of making fun of an icon, you're going to be slapped with sedition. and you say Lakshman Rekha, आप cross कर रहे हो.